Yeah, so I'm out here again, and you know why I didn't even bother filming one of these yesterday? It's because I had a new semester starting at school, right? So that took up most of my entire day, and it just completely sapped my energy. And, I kind of have to readjust my schedule so that I'm filming these earlier. So I pumped these out before school because I just simply do not have the energy once I return from my school day, and that's kind of one of the big qualms I have with the modern school system, and part of the reason that I have absolutely no faith in it, because it just takes up so much of your time for so little return on that time. It's just not a very efficient use of the 6 hours that you spend at school or in the classroom, right? Uh, most of my English class or whatever class I'm in is just the teacher talking, and we might have to copy down some notes, fill in some blanks, or just raise our hand and contribute to some kind of discussion with some kind of agenda behind it that they're attempting to indoctrinate us into, right? The schools, another thing that I don't like that schools do is that they don't really teach you how to think, they teach you what to think, right? Especially in more political subjects, like the humanities, history, English, classics, philosophy, stuff like that. They're kind of just teaching you what other people think and kind of what you should think instead of how to think correctly, right? No critical analysis there, right? And that's very hard for some people to learn, but school never teaches you to do that. What's another thing wrong with school? Oh yeah, treating boys and girls the same, treating both sexes the same, expecting the same thing out of them when they're actually extremely different. I've been meaning to film a video on gender dynamics, sexual energy, polarization, and one of the reasons that we've lost traditional gender roles, or you know, part of the reason why so many people are just unattractive in today's society, both men who are weak and effeminate, and women who are more masculine now and more focused on their careers and not having any kids and just living like spinstresses until they're 30, and they realize that they have no children or husband to their name, and they've basically just built their entire life around a career that they no longer care about. And that can largely be attributed to the school system not instilling the right values in them, along with the parents just being irresponsible and not really knowing how parenting works as well. Right? It's a generational thing. It's kind of like the cycle of abuse. The parents are fed the wrong values, and they instill the wrong values in their children, who in turn give those harmful beliefs to their children, and society just goes in a downward spiral from there. And I think we're getting close to the bottom of that downward spiral per se. Uh, that's a whole other thing, right? But I think very soon, big conflicts are going to start, right? Big international conflicts are going to start. The whole system's going to reset, and we won't have to deal with the traditional school system anymore. Hopefully. Yeah, that's just one of my wish lists for when society inevitably resets, right? What's another problem I have with the school system? Assuming that everyone learns the same, right? They don't only assume that boys and girls have the same mentality. They also assume that everyone learns the same by just listening to someone talk, orally, and then just copying down notes, just hammering it into their brains instead of instilling this intuitive understanding into their pupils. It's just mass indoctrination. It's just this mass lecture, basically, instead of this apprenticeship, which would be a more appropriate way of learning if you asked anyone who knew what they were talking about, right? That's what Robert Greene talks about in his book Mastery, which I recently read. He says that the apprenticeship phase is so important in the life of a young person because that's when they learn like essential skills that they're going to use throughout the rest of their career. But what's essential for the apprenticeship phase to ultimately achieve is, an intuitive understanding of your subject instead of just, being able to memorize all this stuff. I might know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and that, the Golgi apparatus does this, and the endoplasmic reticulum does this. But I don't really understand how a cell works at the end of the day, I don't have that intuitive grasp on it. I don't have any mastery over that subject. So that's another problem I have with it, right? And touching again on masculine and feminine behavior, school basically conditions young boys to behave like girls, right? They just have to sit there. They have to shut up. They have to listen. They have to listen to the often female teacher. They have to listen to her every demand, right? They have no personal sovereignty. Nothing is private. There's nothing sacred about the individual in the classroom. Everyone's just kind of cattle, right? If you actually act like a masculine man, you're bound to find trouble in the traditional school system, right? It just conditions you to be a beta, just sit there, shut up, submit, not think for yourself, not be autonomous, not pursue what you want. Just kind of sit there and just take it, which a real man should never and does never do, right? Schools they always have these weeks or these assemblies that they hold where they deal with anti-bullying, but they're never really getting to the real core of the problem. Usually their diagnosis for bullying is just, oh, the bully is insecure or something like that, some dumb crap like that doesn't actually get to the core of the problem, which is fatherlessness, right? And the large reason why so many people are fatherless in today's society is because of the school system and the system that we have set up. The system where women are encouraged to get careers and not encouraged to be traditional mothers. The system where men are encouraged to be effeminate and not pursue their purpose or their life's task or what they're actually passionate about, but just to work like rats until they die or until they retire and then die at a pretty early age, right? And because there's no positive father figure in the home, these boys don't know how to act correctly towards their classmates. So a lot of the more masculine ones how they cope with their classmates, or at least like the weaker ones, is at first they kind of like poke fun at people, and then if they respond quite negatively to that kind of teasing, then they start bullying them to try and make them stronger. But they have no idea how to like actually properly inspire strength in people because they've never had that father figure to set an example of what they should do when dealing with weak people or people that they dislike, right? So in short, those are some of the many failures of the school system. I might make another video like this soon on the failures of society in general, but we'll see. So yeah, see ya.